Hi everyone, I'm Anisha. Welcome to my channel on astrology and tarot. For those of you who are new, I speak everything around astrology and tarot. We're going to be looking, Geminians, at your annual horoscope forecast for the year 2022-23. Pluto returns happens exactly on February 2022, and similarly, the way individuals have astrological charts. Even countries also have their own astrological charts. And so, what the astrologers call as a Pluto return, the time in a nation's history where Pluto returns to the place in the cosmos that it occupied at the nation's inception. It's at 27 degrees to Capricorn. However, since Pluto moves so slowly, it takes about 248 years to complete one revolution around a zodiac. Its return is a process that some believe lasts for about a decade or so, but that's really to be debated. Personally, I feel that we have been feeling the rumbling of Pluto return from 2008. That's the time when Pluto entered Capricorn. And in the charts of the United States, which is cast for the signing of Declaration of Freedom in 1776, the planet Pluto sits in what we call as the second house. That's the house of which we associate most with money, our possessions, our innate gifts, our self-worth, and anything just about that we deeply value. So in other words, the lord of the underworld, of transformation, of life and death, of shadow, sits in the the part of a segment which basically controls a lot of power, money, and self-worth. So we really need to be also be looking at as to what is it, the lesson of self-worth that Pluto is trying to teach all of us globally. It is also Pluto is also sitting in Capricorn, which also doubles down the theme of worthiness. And Capricorn is a sign of sea goats, the mythological creature that can climb any mountain, it can overcome any obstacle, or it can go across any sea to succeed in its quest. And often we have when we have planets in the second house in the sign of Capricorn, especially when one of the planets happens to be Pluto, we are dealing with a shadow self who believes that it must work to prove its worth. Now, believing that it is not enough already, it finds in itself in circumstances, after circumstances that demands that it keeps proving itself, or it keeps paying a price unless and until the cycle gets broken and there's a level of consciousness that gets raised for us. So let's talk about Pluto now. I'd just like to give a context as to why there is so much of trepidation that a lot of astrologers are feeling about the Pluto return, and why is it that we need to be concerned about Pluto, and why is it that we need to be taking or paying heed as to what Pluto really stands for. Now, most of the mythological stories which are associated with the planet Pluto are linked to the Greek god Hades, and he was the lord of underworld, and he was very unyielding and very he ruled the realm of, rather, from this world to the next world. And he's extremely powerful, and his name and his myth are associated with power, transformation, resurrection, the shadow, the riches of the unseen, and then with the life, death, and rebirth. Now, the most poignant of the stories which are associated, or rather the Plutonian myth, is that he shares with Persephone. And by some accounts says that he abducted Persephone, and to that is the Greek god Hades, who we know as Pluto. He abducted Persephone to be his wife, to rule his dark world. And most accounts also describe her abduction to be quite intense, and an initiation into the underworld full of strife, because she was stripped of everything of the life that she knew before, so that she could undergo a rebirth that enabled her to rise up and become one of the most powerful Greek deities in mythology. So in astrology, the symbol of Pluto in the birth chart is also associated with similar processes of transformation, and Pluto transits often accompany periods in our life which seem to take us down in order for us to rise back up. And that seemed to demand that we surrender every ounce of our power so that we might remember what it means to own and yield our power responsibly. It's very heavy and very deep stuff, but something which is worth introspecting, because this aspect is not going off very quickly from our lives, or rather in the following years to come. For you, Geminians, it's aspecting your house of joint finances. It's a house of transformation. This is also the house of intimacy and sexuality. So Pluto rules this house. So Pluto is quite home in this specific house. So it can make you feel quite ease with this energy. You can almost be quite unapologetic if you are, even I would say, in an abusive relationship. Rather, you are the one who's the abuser. You could feel quite all right that, it's okay. This person deserves to be dealt with the way that they are. What is it that they bring to the table? I'm the one who's brought up the kids. I'm the one who's bringing all the money on the table. And what is it that this person has done? So she or he needs to be treated in whatever way that I choose to. And Pluto can also over here encourage you to seek to go deeper and dig inside of you and others to gain greater understanding, to forge stronger bonds, emotional bonds with others, and also to work on your own inner demons and to transform your life to the better. Now, the interesting thing over here is that while Pluto, of course, is going to be doing its work, it's going to be bringing up stuff from the past, it's going to be bringing up issues that have been there in your relationships, where there have been power plays, financial power plays, sexual power plays, intimacy power plays. But it's really up to you, Geminians. You can choose to turn your head that and say, I'm perfect. I do not need this. I do not want to be dealing with this. And this is something which is not going to be, like I said, going away from your life. Not that it will make it more harder, but it will just make the relationships, maybe the emotional depth that you seek from them won't be there. Especially if you have another transit that is happening in this part of your chart, if it's a hard Saturn or a Uranus aspect, then it can be that you could be forced to be dealing with darker aspects of your life or elements in your life, or even I would say it could become crucial for you to let in some light and transform. So it's a wonderful, wonderful transformational time for you, Geminians, should you choose to do something about it at all. We also have Venus, which is going retrograde around the same in the same house, and it also went retrograde last year, and it carries on being so retrograde till about end of January 2022. And you could feel that almost a sense of during the Venus retrograde also that that you're forgetting something, or that you forgot something, or something is missing, or something that used to make you happy is somehow got left behind. And that often happens also when you move on to the latest promises and developments, and inadvertently leave the reasons we used to have fun in cold storages. It may also be a time to trade some of the new in for the old, and to revisit what worked before, as well as what might be the wave of the future as well. There are some things that money can't buy, Geminians, and I think you simply forgot and you bought some, so you don't necessarily could be feeling a lack of it. There could be some emotional bonds, some deep friendships that you have just cut and you've not thought much about it. And it could be time that you could be full of regret, and you could be, or even not regret, there could just be this lack of that you're missing something, that something is not there. Also, try not to fill those voids financially. Try not to buy things in order to be replacing things that you have lost emotionally. We have a solar eclipse that is there on the April 30th, and that is there in your house of behind the scenes. It is joining Uranus, which is already, it's been there for the last couple of years. And so mostly this year, for 2022, the eclipses are going to be around your around your work area, around your work health, and around your spirituality. So it would be a good time during this time when the eclipses are happening end April to be volunteering someone with something. Maybe you get associated with a charity cause. It can also be because this house also rules all hidden things, that you could be dealing with secrets, that you were not aware about. Maybe there are some family stuff that comes out that is not too pleasant to deal with. And this is also a time where you need to be careful about what you are saying, Geminians. So you might let something slip accidentally, and it could sort of come back to haunt you later. And good time to be working behind the scenes, good time to be taking a back seat and remaining quiet and remaining with yourself, remaining with your thoughts, your perceptions, and letting the flow of life just move along. You don't have to always have an opinion. Don't need to be always doing something about it. It's a great time also for healing and therapy, Gemini. So great time to be disconnecting from the entire chaos of the world. Just recharge your emotional batteries, and good time to be exploring your subconscious as well. On the May 11th, we have Jupiter that is going to be moving into your house of friendships, and it's there till about October 9th, and it'll briefly go to Pisces between October and December. But the full moon in your Jupiter moving rather into your house of friendships is going to be bringing about a time of busyness. It's going to be encouraging you to be going out and network, meet up with friends. Maybe there could be a wedding at home. Maybe some form of celebration is there. All of you are getting together, extended family, friends. Maybe you find your tribe. Maybe you collaborate and you do some business with a friend as well. Between September and November, we have a square between Saturn and Uranus. And so for you, again, there's a focus that is going to be there on your behind the scenes. And also, this is your house of higher learning. Towards end of October, we have Mars that is retrograding in your sign, Geminians, and it is moving through your first house. And also the way that you see, you may feel that it requires revision, or you could come under revision. It's a time to be taking, to look inwardly, to manifest the change outwardly. Perhaps it's a time to be using unresolved anger in a positive way, rather than suppressing it all and feeling very toxic, and then all of a sudden having a reaction and just, doing extreme things. Don't let anger sort of fester, or you risk a huge blow up during this time. End of the year, end of 2022, November 8th, we have a lunar eclipse that is there in your own house. And then again, Jupiter is going to be moving back into your house of work. So plenty of time as far as delving into spirituality, trying to understand yourself more. And importantly, Geminians, is a transformation. It's to be ability to have the strength, the courage to be looking inside and seeing and being honest with yourself, that what is it that really needs to get changed, where it is that you require work. And Jupiter, of course, is going to be lighting up your house of work and career towards the end of the year. So there can be some good news that you can expect. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Geminians. I'll see you again soon. And thank you so much for watching.